After the video about rural land ownership and like last time, so many of you came into the comment section asking the same question. Cool, so my offer letters. What about my 99-year leases? Are they safe? Do they protect me? Some of you were asking, can I use them for my bank loans?
Government has finalized changes to 99-year lease documents, making them acceptable collateral for bankers.
We come in to ensure that the piece of land that has been allocated is given in a proper security of tenure document that is acceptable to the banks, and then we make sure that they have adequate title. That's where we begin, that's where we end.
So today, I'm gonna be answering all of that, and I'm also going to tell you about something that happened recently that affects every single person who has one of these documents right now. So quick note before we start, everything in this video comes from publicly available legal documents and general research. I am not a lawyer and nothing here is legal advice for your specific situation. This video does not accuse any specific individual, company, or organization of wrongdoing. The land laws in Zimbabwe are complex. So you should always, I repeat, you should always speak to a qualified legal practitioner before making any property decisions. Now, I'm wearing this one. It has diaspora insurance. So this one is actually something that you need to know. If you're in the diaspora, need to GoFundMe. You need to make sure that you in a funeral policy and this one knows diaspora insurance. And diaspora insurance tunokupa up to £20,000. £20,000 in cash. Most of the time if something happens, not necessarily, there's a box, $100. So if you need more and more information, link some description, and then they are going to call you back. So let us continue. So first of all, what is an offer letter? I think the most important thing. An offer letter, my people, is a document that is issued by the Ministry of Lands. And this one, it tells you that the government has given you the right to occupy and use a specific piece of land. It is most common on resettlement farms, and some of the land that was redistributed as part of Zimbabwe's land reform program. So when someone received that letter, the government was actually saying the land is theirs to use. But here is what most people do not realize when it comes to Nyaezo. An offer letter is not a title deed. An offer letter is a title deed. An offer letter gives you occupation rights. You have the right to be there. You have the right to farm there. But you do not have full legal ownership the same way someone with a title deed does. So someone a title deed ne offer letter Masimba now, they are two different. So an offer letter is actually a strong starting point. You cannot only offer letter we pass starting point. This is not the finishing line. You understand? Because that is also an offer letter, a 99-year lease. These are two different documents. A 99-year lease, on the other hand, is a step up from an offer letter. It is a formal agreement between you and the government of Zimbabwe. So, the government leases you land for 99 years. This one is actually more structured, and this one is more legally defined and gives you a stronger protection than just an offer letter alone. Suppose we are not trying to say, or we are not trying to discredit an offer letter. Now we are the difference. So you need to also understand 99-year lease, you are a leaseholder. You are a leaseholder. You are not the owner. And the land still belongs to the state. This is one of the reasons why you are not supposed to sell it or buy it because you are using it under an agreed arrangement. You need to understand what nyaya dzemutemo kana kuti nyaya idzi hadzidi ma-emotions. You just need to know the terms. You need to know the basics. You understand? So you are a leaseholder. So kana uri leaseholder uri lodger kana tauda kuzvitaura in simple ways. Uri kuroja. Saka kana uri lodger haukwanisi kuti pawapiwa kuti uroje wobva watengesa imba yevanhu. Ndosaka uri kunzwa zvinhu zvachifanira kutengeswa. So what can you actually do with a 99-year lease? And yakanakire because yakatonaka considering what we have so far. But like I said, pane zvimwe zvinhu zvatichange tichizokudzai zvinyowani zvakaitika. So there are several things that are very important about this. Number one, it gives you a long-term security on that land yawapiwa 99-year lease. Because as long as you keep meeting the conditions of the lease, even your children or even your grandchildren can benefit from that security. Then number two, a 99-year lease can potentially be used as collateral from the information and data when you are approaching like my financial institutions for my loans. I'm not sure about this, but from the information and data gather, this is something that you can work with. This is something that even a simple offer letter cannot easily do for you. So for a farmer who is trying to invest and probably grow, this is actually something that is very, very significant and it can actually work for you. Then number three, a 99-year lease takes inheritance into account. That is what I have also found. It can specifically recognize my spouses and their rights. So if the main leaseholder passes, the surviving spouse is a recognized position, and that is the protection that actually matters a lot for so many families. And number four, when a 99-year lease is issued, it comes with a survey. You've got boundaries, and your boundaries are formally documented, and a survey diagram is attached to the agreement. That alone actually prevents so many of the boundary disputes that we talked about in the last video. Now here's something that is very important that is happening right now in the year 2026. So the government has announced a very significant change to how land documents are working or are going to work. So we've got things like offer letters, permits, and 99-year leases. They are going to be converted into a new type of document. And this new document is designed to be more secure, more bankable, and more formally registered than the current documents that we talked about. And to be honest, this is actually good news for people who have been farming on resettlement land for years, because it means the government is actually working toward a stronger protection for your rights. Transfers under the new system will require government approval. If you're going to do any transfers, you cannot simply sell your land to whoever you want without going through the proper channels. Those are emotional food. You cannot just go to the and there's currently a pause on the issuing of new 99-year leases and offer letters while this transition is being managed. So if you're waiting to formalize your land documents, you need to understand that the system is going through significant changes at the moment. So the key message is this: you need to stay informed. You need to engage with the process when it becomes available to you. You should not just sit and then you wait, assuming that, sometime, somehow things are going to set themselves automatically. So what should you actually do if you have one of these documents? If you have an offer letter, you need to understand what it gives you. You need to understand what it does not give you. You need to understand that it is a recognized right to occupy and use your land. So you need to make sure that you protect that document. You need to keep it safe, and you make sure that you are actively farming and using the land, because these documents come with some conditions around productive use. A farm that is sitting idle is a farm that is very, very, very vulnerable. Make sure you've got some things that you are doing at that farm. And if you have a 99-year lease, you are in a stronger position because your boundaries have been surveyed or they are surveyed and your rights are more clearly defined. You need to make sure that you protect that lease document with your life. Keep copies of that document in multiple places and watch out for my updates on how to upgrade to the new documents that are being introduced. Is going to my introductions among my documents. So for both of them, you need to make sure that your details on the documents are correct, and you also make sure that you are meeting any requirements or any conditions. And obviously, I would recommend that you need to engage with your district lands office if you have any questions about your specific situation, because I know some of the situations that you guys will be having, they are different. You understand? Different situations will require different things. And one more thing I want to address, inheritance, because with a 99-year lease, the situation is actually very clear, or it is clearer than it is with communal land. Communal land, spouses are specifically recognized in the agreement because this is better protection like my lease. But this is very, very important. You should still have a will, a properly written, legally valid will that clearly states your wishes for a land. It will actually help a lot. Do not assume that the document alone is going to protect your family without clear instructions in place, because a will obviously remove ambiguity. It actually prevents a lot of my family disputes. And a will, it protects the people that you love. If you do not have one will, try to make sure that you speak to a legal practitioner about it, because it is the most important things that you can ever do for your family. Now, so that's what I was just in this video. Let me just bring this together simply so that I don't get confusions. I said offer letters and 99-year leases are real and recognized rights. They give you more protection than a simple verbal allocation from a headband. But they are not the same as title deeds. The land still belongs to the state. You can only pay me to offer letter, whatever. As long as the city title deed, the land still belongs to the state. And your rights on that land are conditional on meeting the terms of your agreement. The system is actually changing right now. So that change is actually designed to strengthen your position. It is actually good for you. You need to make sure that you stay informed and then you engage the process. Keep your documents safe and make sure that you are in good standing. Make sure that you are actively using the land. And if possible, or with all you're getting, get a will in place so that you protect your family. Because your land is worth protecting properly. So if this video helped you in some way or the other, please make sure to write to me or someone. Put it to my group saying my family, because this information it affects thousands and thousands of families in Zimbabwe. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel and like this video. And if you've got a question, please feel free to ask in the comments so that and also I will do a research on any other things that you might want me to research on. I will see you in the next one.